Hey guys, it's your girl Vanessa. Welcome back to my channel and thank you guys all so much for tuning in today. So you guys, today is going to be all about what's coming for you in spring. So it is officially about to be spring and I love this time of the year. I just like all seasons basically. I can see something good in all seasons, but yeah, I really like spring because things are starting to bloom, it's starting to get warmer, there's like more light out, so I really love that. And I thought I'd share with you guys a reading about what spring has to bring for you. So I have 5 groups prepared for you and I would like you to pick one of the 5 groups intuitively. So just let your intuition guide you in order to make the right choice. And also I would like you to bear in mind that your personal reading may be a mixture between 2 or more groups. So if you do indeed feel that way, then feel free to tune into 2 or more readings just in order for you to get that perfect mixture. So if this is the first time that you're on my channel, do not forget to subscribe. And also if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. All of the timestamps will be down below in the description box. So you can just fast forward to your individual group. I want to keep this intro nice and short so we can get straight into the readings. Hi guys, I want to welcome you all to today's reading about the unexpected things happening in your life in spring of 2019. So we have group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and group 5. So I would like you to pick one of the 5 groups intuitively. Just let your intuition guide you in order to make the right decision for you. As usual, if you feel drawn to 2 groups, feel free to tune into 2 readings or even more readings because your personal reading may be a mixture. And also if you need a minute just to meditate on the cards and on the different groups, feel free to pause the video in order to do so right now. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to get straight into the readings with group number 1. Okay, group number 1, let's see what's happening for you this spring. Okay, so we have yoga as well as writing. So I definitely see that in spring it will be beneficial for you to sort of do a bit more exercise, to do a lot more stretching as well as working on your breathing. I feel like maybe you haven't been exercising as much as you'd like to, or maybe you've always wanted to be, for instance, more flexible or have better endurance, but you feel like you sort of don't have the time to do these things or to work on these things. But in spring, I see that it will be very beneficial for you to really actually make time now. And also to just breathe in that spring air, that fresh air when things are blooming, when the weather is starting to get warmer. I want you to use this inspiration, all of this sunshine and just sort of amazing new vibes, fresh vibes to inspire you to exercise more and to focus a lot more on your breathing. So doing different breathing exercises is something really amazing that you can do anywhere, anytime, that you can even do right after your reading. So make sure that you pause the video, open a tab and type in breathing exercises, then come back to finish your reading. But that way you will already have, that tab open and it'll be easy for you to access, whatever search engine it is that you're using right after your reading in order to already start informing yourself of how you can better your health in spring. Then we also have writing here, which tells me that some of your life's purpose in spring evolves around creativity and also reflection. So I see that it would definitely be of great benefit for you to sort of entertain yourself writing or to do just more writing, maybe even journaling. So if you feel like it's always been something that you wanted to do, to just keep a diary that you can look back on in a few years or just sort of write down your thoughts or journal, this spring is a great time for you to sort of acquire new skills or, completely start a new sort of hobby. And definitely have it be heavy on writing, as I see that you will learn to heal, you will inspire others as well as yourself, and the words that you write are going to be of great meaning and are going to sort of help you progress mentally and just as a person as a whole. Then we have the rabbit spirit. So I definitely can tell that Spring is a very fruitful time for you. Maybe you're thinking of getting pregnant or someone around you is thinking of it, and I see that it's a fruitful time for that, as well as just overall a pretty lucky time. And in the koi fish spirit, I definitely see that there are heaps of abundance around you in spring. So just like animals, you know, they mate in spring, just like the flowers start to bloom and there are new beginnings, there's sort of like a fresh breeze in the air. I definitely see that there are new beginnings for you in the financial realms. You know, the koi fish is a very sought after fish, and it's also a very expensive fish. So I want you to see that sort of as a sign from the universe that on a financial level, on a business level, things are looking up for you in spring, and I see that there may be some very financially rewarding opportunities coming towards you. Then in the bobcat spirit, I can definitely see that there are things that will sort of remain a mystery in your life in spring. So maybe it has to do with your relationship status, or just a relationship in your life that is sort of in a place that you feel you haven't completely figured out yet. And I see that in spring, this may still remain sort of a mystery to you on how you can figure things out and move forward. So I definitely see a lot of things looking very fruitful and financially rewarding, but at the same time, I feel like there would be a lot of things happening that maybe are unexplainable. They can be good or bad, and a lot of things happening in your relationships where you feel like they're out of your control and like you're kind of unsure how to move forward. So I definitely want this to be encouraging to you to sort of look into how you can better your relationships and how you can sort of get to the bottom of how to fix certain relationships, as I see that that would be beneficial for you in spring of 2019. Then last but not least, we have the fox spirit. So I definitely see that spring is going to be a very demanding sort of time of the year for you. It's definitely going to be a time of the year that is going to keep you on your feet, that's going to keep you engaged, as well as maybe a little bit tiresome and maybe filled with a lot of work, but also excitement. So overall, it's going to be a very fast-paced sort of time of the year for you. It's going to be a time of the year where, you know, it is a lucky time and there may be sort of new romantic energy in the air, or sort of renewed energy. Maybe there is, you know, a new life forming, and financially things are definitely looking up for you, but you must keep up with the pace, because what is at the top for you is definitely just keeping up with the pace that spring is going to bring along for your life. So I want you to go into spring with a very prepared mindset. I want you to really, you know, fill up on energy. If you feel like your energy is a little bit low, take some time off now to really prepare for this next chapter of your life, for this next chapter of your current year, in order for you to be able to think on your feet, to react quickly, and to get things done that you need to get done. So that is the reading that I get for group number 1 for your spring 2019. All right, group number 2. Let's see what sort of unexpected things are going on in your life in spring of 2019. Okay, so we have practice as well as crystals. So one thing that I definitely deem is very helpful for you in spring is to sort of take energy from crystals, is to connect with crystals and gemstones and sort of channel their positive vibes in order to, you know, just support you on your journey, just to support you spiritually and energetically. So if you have crystals in your home already, I would recommend for you to properly cleanse them. You can either lay them out on a full moon's night, lay them out in order to cleanse them. You put them under your tap and let sort of water run over them, which, you know, cleans the crystals, it cleanses their energy. So if you already own crystals, definitely take the time to cleanse them. And if you do not own any crystals yet, I would recommend for you to maybe look into getting a few crystals, maybe look into getting a crystal necklace, a crystal bracelet, just a little ornament for your home that means something to you. So to somebody else, it might just look like, a simple crystal, but to you, that is where, you get positive energy from, and it channels sort of healing energy. And it's just great to have that in your space in order to cleanse negativity. And in practice, I definitely feel like you need to focus on getting better at what it is that you do. So maybe you're a student, maybe you work in a store, whatever it is, I see that you need to sort of up your game, and this may not be easy depending on what it is that you do for a living. Some people really love their jobs, so practice is something that they will not be opposed to. But if you're somebody who doesn't really love what they're doing, or you just don't enjoy this stage right now, I just want you to know that sometimes, you need to go through tough stages, and you need to sort of just boss up and know that the only way that you can get through this stage is by practicing and becoming better, as well as just polishing your skills. So I want you to know that discipline is also something that the universe may be asking you to practice. Discipline in just becoming better and, regularly doing the same thing and regularly exercising your skills. So discipline is something that I feel may be very important for you in spring. And in the koala spirit, I see that spirit has a plan for you this spring. So I definitely see a lot of energy shifting in your life in spring. I definitely see a lot of big changes, a lot of fundamental changes in your life. And I definitely see that there are things happening that have never happened before. You're going to have a lot of new experiences. And spring of 2019 is going to channel a different side of you that you maybe have never known. So I definitely see a lot of new growth there, as well as you sort of needing to just loosen up and be very open and happy, Be playful with the situation, be playful with anything that life throws at you. As I see that, the fact that you might know that you need to up your game and whatever it is that you do may sort of be tensing you up or worrying you, but the Sandifer spirit is definitely here to communicate with you that you don't need to take everything in life so seriously. So just because you need to study a little more or you need to work a little harder on your business doesn't mean that you can't have fun doing it. And in the cow spirit, I definitely see that there is a lot of fruitful sort of soil here in spring, and the miracles are endless, so to say. So have a lot of opportunity in spring, a lot of opportunity to shift your perception, as well as to just shift how you think, how you feel, how you cope with life as a whole. And in the chameleon spirit, lastly, I see that it's important for you to act as if you know what you're doing, even though you don't necessarily know what you're doing, because as we already discussed, you definitely need to practice, you definitely need to better your skills, but for the time being, just act as if you know what you're doing, because there's really no other way for you in order to get through this rough patch, in order for you to get to the next level. And sometimes just acting as if you know what you're doing is already all that it takes in order for you to actually end up knowing what you're doing. So I definitely see confidence being one of the key aspects that will help you in spring to sort of get further and to be more successful, as well as just, keeping things lighthearted and remaining playful and not taking everything life has in stock too seriously. So that is the reading that I get for group number 2 for spring of 2019. Okay, group number 3, let's see what spring of 2019 has in stock for you. Okay, so we have creative expression as well as flowers. So instinctively I see that you need to connect in spring with the flora, with the flowers, with just nature. I definitely see that, just working with flowers or having flowers around you is going to open your heart and sort of bring more blessings to you and also to others through sort of like the good energy that they bring to sort of the life that flowers give. So when you cut flowers, I mean, yes, you do sort of end their life, as they only have like a shelf life of maybe a week after you cut them, but you give the tree or the bush or wherever you cut them off of, you give that stem sort of the chance to put the energy into a new flower, into a new creation. You know, it's not like the tree or the bush or the stem that you cut the flower off of is going to die. It's going to give new opportunities. So I want you to definitely keep that sort of philosophy in spring, to know that just because you end a chapter, just because you cut something or someone off, doesn't mean that, you know, it is the end of a world. It doesn't mean that it is going to sort of kill something off. It may be an opportunity for new growth and to let something even more beautiful blossom. And in creative expansion, I see that your soul longs to express itself in ways that you maybe haven't allowed it to. So if you love doing music, if you love writing, if you love drawing, it's important for you to expand and to not judge your work. So as an artist or just as somebody creative, it can be so easy to jump straight to judging your work, to comparing your work to other people's work, or to just constantly feel like it's not good enough. And I want you to remember that this is just stopping your growth, and that in spring you will be able to expand on a creative level, to express yourself in a way different way, as long as you make sure that you don't judge yourself, and as long as you're willing to sort of cut your old ways off and, you know, leave those behind in order for something new to blossom. So moving on in stag spirit, I see that in order for you to blossom as a person, to grow as a person in spring, you have to take the lead, and you have to make the decision on, you know, cutting certain things off out of your life, just letting go of certain things in order to be able to express yourself on a creative level, in order to be able to learn a new way of communication. Then in the swan spirit, I see that spring is a time of, you know, deep diving. It's a time for you to really get to know yourself again, to really sort of think about who it is that you are and who that you want to become, and also where you would like to continue going in life. So I definitely want you to channel very confident energy, because just think of how majestic and beautiful a swan is. And I want you to know that a swan started off as, you know, just this little, I think they're brown or they're gray, and they look very clumsy when they're still young, and but very cute. So I want you to know that in order to blossom into a majestic being, just like a swan, it takes time and it takes a lot of learning. So that is what you may most definitely have to tend to in spring, as I see in the mouse spirit that your spirit guides want you to tend to the little things. Your spirit guides feel like you may have been overlooking the little things, and you may have been sort of just stressing about the big picture. And in order for you to sort of be able to make space to tend to the little things, you have to declutter, and that's what the frog spirit is here to tell you. And you may have gotten this message of needing to declutter in other readings from other YouTubers or just other psychics, and the reason why this may be coming up over and over again is just because, you know, decluttering is a constant process. Decluttering is like a never-ending thing, and you need to keep up with it, and you need to constantly be decluttering any sort of negative vibes, decluttering things that are filling your home, decluttering relationships that are draining you. It's just something that you need to constantly keep up. So in spring, I definitely see you needing a big sort of spring cleaning, and you have to take the lead on this. In order to grow as a person, you have to decide to declutter and let go of things that don't serve a higher purpose, that don't serve your greatest good, in order to make way for expansion and to make way for you to sort of be able to allow new growth in your life. So that is the reading that I get for group number 3. All right, group number 4, let's see what spring has to offer you in 2019. Okay, so we have letting go as well as heart's desires. So I definitely see that in spring, you're going to have to be very mature and let go of something in your life that is not serving you any good anymore, as well as remember that your angels are supporting you, they're guiding you, they're protecting you, and they're helping make your dream sort of a reality. So if you feel deep inside, or you feel like your angels are sort of sending you messages of a relationship that you need to let go, or just something in your life that is making you unhappy, it could be your job, it could be where you live, it could be just a situation that is happening, something that is making you unhappy, it may be important for you to walk away from the situation in order to resolve it internally. And at the top we have the squirrel spirit, and the squirrel spirit is here to tell you to believe in yourself this spring. So I feel like maybe recently life has been testing you, and it's been difficult to believe in yourself and believe in the decisions that you make, and it may have sort of been difficult for you to fully trust your intuition. But it's important for you to know that you have to be just like a little squirrel, so to say. And I know this sounds really weird, but you know how squirrels, they feel comfortable up in the trees. They never fall, and they do all of these risky little jumps in order to just get an acorn or a hazelnut, whatever nut it is that they're after. And sometimes squirrels need to come onto the ground, need to come onto a new space where they don't feel comfortable in order to get to the next tree, where they can then find sort of new food, where they can find new things that are vital for their survival. So I want you to think of life in spring as in you coming down from where you feel comfortable, which in a squirrel's case would be, their home-based tree. You need to come down to the ground and look for a new place where you can grow. Look for something new that will feed you, that will feed you emotionally, that will feed you financially, that will just help you grow and sort of expand your comfort zone. So I want you to really see spring as the time of getting out of your comfort zone, of exploring new places, as well as, letting go of maybe old comfort zones that are way, overdue to be let go of. So I definitely see in the scarab beetle spirit that you don't have anything to worry about, as you have magic working through you. Spring is brightening up your mood. Spring is putting sort of a new energy into your life that is helping you be brave, that is helping you be generous, as well as helping you believe in yourself and helping you make those necessary life changes in order to reach your goals and further your career. So in the pig spirit, I definitely also see that it is essential for you to use your mind very wisely to sort of think things through before you act, as you do have a lot of magic working through you in spring, but you also don't want to waste it. You also don't want to be too generous with everyone or everything and then end up just spreading yourself way too thin and not being able to use the magic to channel on one sort of project that's going to take off. So I definitely want you to use your thoughts, your mind wisely in order to make the best decision when it comes to where you put your energy into, and also in order to decide what you have to walk away from in order to grow, and in order to really show your angels that you appreciate their protection and that you're willing to listen to where they are trying to guide you to. So group number 4, as already mentioned before, I definitely see that spring of 2019 for you is the time of getting out of your comfort zone. It's a time of letting the magic work through you and just making the best of the magic that you have in your life. by choosing very wisely what you put your energy into and just letting go of some situations that aren't beneficial in order to resolve them. So yeah, group number 4, that is the reading that I get for you for spring of 2019. All right, group number 5, let's see what spring has in stock for you. Okay, so we have animals as well as travel. So I definitely see that in spring of 2019, your life's purpose involves traveling. It involves sort of expanding on a geographical level. So maybe you've already planned a trip or you're thinking of taking a trip just to get away. And I definitely feel like your life purpose in spring is to follow this urge to get away and is to follow any sort of opportunities that you get in order to just get away and be in a different sort of environment. And in animals, I see that you're somebody who understands animals and you communicate with them very intuitively. And I want you to trust your guidance because animals can work through you. Spirit animals can sort of point you in the right direction, as well as guide you in order to make the right decisions when it comes to relationships, when it comes to the next steps that you should take. So definitely let any sort of animals that you feel connected with guide you. If you have animals in your life, if you have a dog, a cat, a guinea pig, whatever, I see that in spring it is very beneficial for you to spend extra time with them, as I see that maybe they're needing extra love, maybe they're having a hard time, and you know, sadly animals can't talk, they don't speak our language per se, but you can still see it in their eyes. So if you can do something to make your pet's life happier, you know, give them that extra love in spring. If you can help out in a shelter or you've been thinking of adopting an animal, this spring may just be the time for you, and it may also involve traveling, which would work really well with your life's purpose in spring. So in the flamingo spirit, I see that spring is where you need to embrace the in-between. So spring is a time where you're going to be a little bit in limbo. So your life may not be exactly where you want it to be. It may be a weird sort of in-between, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you don't let it affect you in a negative way. So I don't want you to freak out or to already sort of stress about stress, you know, pre-stressing. I definitely feel like you're that kind of person. I want you to use the animals, I want you to use traveling as sort of a form of meditation and as a form of a coping mechanism in order to embrace any sort of weird in-between situation that you may be in spring. And the brown bear spirit tells me that you have to take some time out as well. So if you're just in the middle of exams, or you're not really sure whether you're going to quit your job or not, or you're in a weird spot in a relationship in your life, take some time out to meditate, to really think about it, and also make sure that you're setting healthy boundaries. As I can see in the armadillo spirit, that you may not have had boundaries that are healthy recently. You may have been allowing people to treat you in a form that does not make you 100% comfortable. You may have let people get away with things that you know were not right, or you know sort of made your confidence weaker instead of stronger. And in spring, I see that you will have the capability to reset those boundaries. You will sort of regain confidence through traveling, especially by yourself, you know. So if you go somewhere by yourself, each time you do that, each time you do something all by yourself, you get stronger as an individual and you get more confident. So I definitely want you to focus on making people treat you the way you want to be treated. And the only way that you teach people how to treat you is by setting boundaries. So I definitely want you to keep that in mind, as well as in the crow spirit, that not everything that glitters is gold. You know, you may be somebody who sees an opportunity and wants to instantly go for it just because you're a go-getter, but it's important for you to know that your spirit guides and your angels, they have a plan in stock for you, and sometimes there are things along the way. There are opportunities along the way that are not necessarily as they seem, or that can seem better than they are. So I just want you to be aware of that in spring, that there may be sort of a little bit of fake promises in the air. That is the feeling that I get, and it's important for you to just sort of, set boundaries. So if people are sort of expecting you to jump through hoops for them, even though they don't want to do the same for you, you need to set those boundaries, and you need to say, like, yeah, I mean, it sounds great for me to help you, and it sounds great for me to do all of this for you, but I also need to value my time. I need to value myself as a person, and I need to take a time out when I feel tired. So definitely set those boundaries. Don't let anything that sparkles sort of distract you from what you really need to focus on, or distract you from taking necessary breaks and overworking yourself. Make sure that you really remain in a healthy spot in order for you to co-create with your spirit guides and to allow them to show you the way as best possible in spring. So that is the reading that I get for group number 5 for spring of 2019.